inside my car on the expressway to your heart.
Doc 103.9. The Auto Show theme. Chip Lyness back with Louie Herron of Louie Herron Toyota in Milledgeville in studio. We're talking about negative equity, and goodness gracious, this affects 90% of all people on the road.
That's
so
it. That's
listen
it.
up.
Now, do I sound sick? Can you tell that I'm a little under the weather?
I can tell you have a little cold.
Okay, all right. I'm wondering, people listening going, man, this sounds rough. But I don't feel as bad as it sounds. But anyways, we're talking tips of avoiding this negative equity. And we've got a couple of breaks left, and I'm discouraged because I don't think I can get to all of it, Chip. I think we'll have to do another segment of this because it's really, really important, and I hate to rush, but I'm going to shock you when I say this. There is a way you can totally 100% eliminate negative equity. There's one way that you can guarantee you'll never have negative equity when you buy a car. You know how that is?
Buy cash? Pay cash?
Well, that's one way, absolutely. That definitely eliminates it. But what I was thinking in terms of financing a car, the other way you can eliminate negative equity is leasing a vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Now, when I say that, people are like, huh? How does that work? Well, again, remember, in leasing you have four options. You can buy it, you can sell it, you can trade it, or you can turn it in. The nice part about leasing is that if you're somebody who you do watch the miles on your car and you know you don't drive very far, then the best play for you would be to turn it in without a doubt. When you turn a vehicle in, it's the leasing company's responsibility.
I see.
When they go to take it to the auction, whatever they make or lose is on them.
Yep. You don't own it.
You don't own it, so you don't have any liability in that. You go drop off that car, you go get another car, and you start with a clean slate. Now, the thing about it is when people buy a car, and a lot of people say, I will never lease, I'll, it's not for me, and so on and so forth, and they have that, obviously that right to feel that way. The reality is people that want to buy a car but don't get a title, they trade before the loan is up, they typically at 90% rate will roll in negative equity into the next transaction.
Right. And technically they don't own the car then.
That's
either.
exactly right. They're trading a car that they don't have title to, but they're rolling in negative equity. Yeah. So again, something to consider. Now that may not be the option that most people want to hear, because maybe some are saying, well, listen, I never lease and I never would lease. So let's cover some things if you don't lease, how you can avoid this negative equity. The biggest thing I will tell you, and you hit the nail on the head when we first started the show, Chip, is cash is king. You've got to put some cash down. If you want to avoid negative equity, you've got to put some cash down. That is the biggest thing. And again, I think a lot of consumers feel like if I put cash down, the dealer makes more money or the dealership gets the money. For me personally, it isn't about, the only way it helps me is the fact that the banks like to see it. The approval that we get is easier because there's a commitment from a customer. The loan to value is less. When you put cash down, a couple things happen for you. Number one, your finance charges are reduced, right? Because you're financing less dollar amount, so you're saving money on that way. You're also saving money because if you put cash down, you can get a better interest rate. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Because the more money, the more in line the financing is with the retail of the car, book to value, loan to value on that automobile, the more they're going to want to work with you and give you a discounted rate.
Even if your credit score is a little low?
Yeah. Even if your credit score is bad and you were going to get a 20% interest rate, but you put $8,000 down, they may give you 17. Now, for somebody with good credit, obviously 17 is still high, but for that person, that could be a huge impact. So cash down is definitely the key. I'll give you one other tip here before we go to a break, and that is I would go to, write this down, ALG.com. automotiveleasingguide.com. That is a place where you can go beforehand and see what the values of the cars are going to be 3 years later. Here's why that's important. If you are shopping a Honda, a Kia, and a Hyundai, and all the deals are about equal, and you heard the show on negative equity, and you want to say, okay, which one of these are going to hold its value the best? You can go to automotiveleasingguide.com. You can take a look, and you can see the Honda is going to be at 70%, the Kia could be 62%, and the Hyundai could be 64%. Well, that difference of 6 to 7% of that car could very well be the difference in buying the Honda, because maybe the Honda is $800 more expensive, and you're going, hey, this is the deal. This is a great deal. But if you're going to get $3,000 less for the Kia when you trade it, was it really the best deal?
Wow.
These are things that most people would not really even run through their mind to think about.
That's a nugget. Ding, ding, ding.
There's
ding,
a nugget.
Ding. Huh.
So, again, ALG.com. That's an awesome site, and you can get the leasing values of any automobile. And it's a great way before you go shopping, going into your next transaction. How do I eliminate the most negative equity on this truck that I want? I'm looking at GMC. I'm looking at Ford, Toyota, Chevy. I want to know which one's going to hold their value on my half-ton truck. Now you can compare apples to apples. Even if the other dealer has got a $800 or $1,000 cheaper price today, you could have $4,000 less trade-in value 3 years from now.
Louie, would a salesperson get mad at me if I'm in there looking at a Tundra, a 2013 Tundra, and I say, hold on just a minute. Can I get a computer? And you go to ALG.com to see what the...
No, listen, I think we're in a day and age, honestly, where salespeople, managers, everybody knows we're in the information age. I mean, if you didn't do the research before you got there, what's the difference if you looked at it there and said, you know what, let me sleep on it. You go home and look at it.
Yeah.
As a salesperson, I'd rather at least see it there so I have an opportunity to maybe overcome an objection and maybe isolate a scenario and answer any questions.
Yeah. And maybe the salesperson would already know it approximately anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it could validate what the salesperson has said. So,
All right, very good. All right. We are coming back.
Cooking with gas.
Stay with us. It's the Auto Show. Catch it every week at this time. Saving you money on your next car or truck purchase or lease. Chip Lyness and Louie Herron back next. This is Doc 103.9.